In a world 150 million years ago, North America was not what we know today. It was a land of vast floodplains, roaring volcanoes, and endless fern jungles. The Jurassic period had reached its golden age, and life was thriving. From the Rockies to the Midwest, titans roamed across the continent. It was here that evolution sculpted some of history's most iconic creatures. The mighty Allosaurus, the apex predator of Jurassic America, ruled supreme. With razor-sharp teeth and lightning speed, it hunted giants many times its size. This was the Morrison Formation, Earth's prehistoric paradise. Stretching across modern Colorado, Utah, Wyoming, and New Mexico, it preserved one of the richest dinosaur ecosystems ever discovered. Every fossil unearthed here tells a tale of life, struggle, and dominance. Picture a morning 150 million years ago. The ground trembles as a herd of Apatosaurus moves across a muddy riverbank. Each footstep leaves craters big enough to fit a car. Nearby, a Stegosaurus grazes on cycads, its plates glinting in the sun. A pack of juvenile Allosaurs watches from the shadows. Silence falls, then a burst of speed, claws slicing through the ferns. The Jurassic world was alive with tension and triumph. But what made North America so unique during this era? The secret lies beneath the soil, in the Morrison rock beds. These layers reveal changing climates, ancient rivers, and vanished forests. Once this land was a humid paradise, teeming with life. Giant conifers towered overhead. Horsetails and cycads blanketed the earth. It was an age ruled by reptiles, but shaped by time and catastrophe. Massive droughts swept across the plains, forcing herds of sauropods to migrate in search of water. Predators followed, and the struggle for survival intensified. In this ancient drama, Allosaurus was both hunter and scavenger. It used intelligence, teamwork, and raw power to dominate. Fossils show healed bite marks, proof of brutal battles and fierce competition. The Morrison Formation gives us more than bones, it gives us behavior. Tracks, nests, and even stomach stones tell us how these giants lived. Imagine herds of Camarasaurus moving across shallow lagoons. Their long necks swung like cranes as they tore at tall vegetation. Pterosaurs glided overhead, scanning the waters for fish. Crocodile-like creatures called goniophilis lurked near the riverbanks. Insects buzzed, ferns waved, and life pulsed in every corner. This was the Jurassic heartbeat of North America, but not all was peaceful. Volcanic eruptions darkened the skies. Ash rained down for weeks, choking rivers and killing plants. Yet even in disaster, life adapted and evolved. Dinosaurs found new niches and new strategies for survival. The Morrison ecosystem became a cradle of resilience. Every fossil we find today whispers that story through stone. Paleontologists call it a window into deep time. Each excavation site, like Dinosaur National Monument, brings us closer to understanding these magnificent animals. Here in sandstone and shale are the echoes of thunder lizards. The bones of Allosaurus lie beside those of its prey. The tale of predator and prey is written in fossilized motion. But Allosaurus was not alone in this ancient kingdom. Stegosaurus, with its armor of plates and spiked tail, stood as a living fortress. Its brain may have been small, but its defense was unmatched. Each plate helped regulate heat and signal to rivals, and when threatened, its tail's spikes, the thagomizer, could pierce bone. Many predators learned that lesson the hard way. Meanwhile, Apatosaurus, the deceptive lizard, was a gentle giant. It stretched over 75 feet long and weighed as much as 5 elephants. Its whip-like tail could crack like a sonic boom. Herds of these behemoths moved together for safety. When rivers dried up, they dug deep with their massive feet for moisture. Their migration shaped the Jurassic landscape itself. Each step trampled plants, spread seeds, and created watering holes. These sauropods were the gardeners of deep time, and where there were giants, hunters followed. Allosaurus thrived on opportunity. Fossil evidence suggests it attacked in coordinated strikes. Using strong neck muscles, it tore flesh with a slash-and-retreat tactic. Its jaws could open wide, powered by flexible joints. Some scientists call it the Lion of the Jurassic. Fierce, fast, and fearless, its reign lasted millions of years. The Morrison Formation records their every rise and fall. Rivers carried carcasses downstream, burying them in silt and mud. Over eons, pressure and minerals turned them into stone. Now, paleontologists uncover them, perfectly preserved in time. Each fossil is a message from the Jurassic world. A message that says, "We were here, we ruled this land." But how did these ecosystems sustain such massive creatures? The answer lies in balance between plants, prey, and predator. Ancient soil samples show lush vegetation capable of supporting giants. Climate shifts, however, tested their endurance. Some species vanished, others evolved into new forms. The Jurassic was not a static paradise. It was a battlefield of adaptation. The survivors would pave the way for the Cretaceous age to come. From the Morrison's ashes rose a new generation of dinosaurs. But before they came, the Allosaurus dynasty reached its zenith. Across North America, their legacy echoed in the thunder of their hunts. This was the golden era of Jurassic North America, and it's only the beginning of the story. The Jurassic sun burns through morning mist over ancient North America. In the shadows of conifer forests, movement stirs, sleek, powerful, patient. The hunter steps into the light, Allosaurus, the different lizard. It's not the largest predator of all time, but it's among the most efficient. With 3 razor claws and a flexible neck, it's the top hunter of the Morrison. Fossils show sharp teeth curved like serrated knives, perfect for tearing flesh, each tooth replaced by another as soon as one broke. This predator was born for continuous combat and survival. Its skull design reveals shock-absorbing bones, built for bone-crunching strikes. But what truly set Allosaurus apart was its hunting strategy. Unlike lumbering solitary predators, Allosaurus may have hunted in packs. Imagine a coordinated ambush, 2 flankers, 1 leader driving the herd. Herds of Apatosaurus stampede, dust rising like thunderclouds. The Allosaurs follow, relentless, calculating. They target the young, the weak, or the isolated. Then, with a flash of claws and teeth, the feeding frenzy begins. Fossil beds show clusters of Allosaurus bones, possible evidence of cooperation. Even when meals were scarce, they adapted through teamwork and intelligence. This adaptability ensured their dominance for millions of years. Allosaurus wasn't just a hunter, it was nature's prototype for future predators. Its flexible jaws inspired the bite mechanics of later theropods like T-Rex. Its limb structure reveals bursts of speed unmatched by most rivals. It could cover ground in seconds, closing distances with terrifying grace. In the dense fern forests, its coloration may have provided camouflage, blending with the green and brown of cycads and pine shadows. But the Jurassic world was not without competition. Other predators stalked the same plains, Ceratosaurus and Torvosaurus. These rivals fought bloody turf wars for territory and prey. Paleontologists found bite marks on Allosaurus bones, proof of violent clashes. The Morrison was a war zone of tooth and claw. Even scavengers like Ornitholestes darted in for leftovers. The smell of decay filled the ancient air. Life fed on death. In this balance, Allosaurus stood at the top of the food chain. But to survive, even kings must bow to nature's cycles. Seasonal droughts turned the once lush valleys into cracked deserts. Rivers shrank, and carcasses littered the dried riverbeds. Allosaurus followed the dying herds, driven by hunger. Fossilized footprints tell of migrations spanning miles. Their endurance was unmatched, evolution's masterpiece in motion. But what fueled these creatures? What made them thrive? The Jurassic air was thick with oxygen, nearly 30% higher than today's. This allowed larger body sizes and faster metabolisms. Plant life flourished, feeding massive herbivores. And where there were giants, there were hunters. Nature's web was perfectly woven, predator, prey, and planet in harmony. Yet beneath this beauty lurked a ticking clock of extinction. Environmental shifts were brewing deep within Earth's crust. Volcanic eruptions poured carbon into the skies. Forests withered, seas rose, climates shifted. But for now, the Morrison Plains pulsed with Jurassic life. In the heart of this ancient wilderness, Allosaurus ruled the rivers. It was both feared and respected by everything that lived. Fossil evidence suggests even young Allosaurs fought for rank early in life. Their bones show bite marks from rivals, a world of survival from birth. Parents may have guarded nests, though competition remained fierce. Only the strongest reached adulthood. At full size, Allosaurus could reach 30 feet long and weigh over 2 tons. Its power came not from brute size, but precision and speed. Some researchers believe it used ambush tactics near water sources. Like crocodiles today, it waited for thirsty herbivores to approach. Then, explosion! It lunged with jaws open wide. With one bite, it tore deep into muscle and bone. Blood spilled into the rivers, the circle of life in motion. Nature wastes nothing. Scavengers moved in soon after. Insects, reptiles, and smaller dinosaurs feasted on the remains. Even in death, Allosaurus fed the ecosystem it ruled. The Morrison Formation was more than fossils. It was a living network. A prehistoric stage where evolution wrote its greatest scripts. Every bone, every tooth, every track tells a story of struggle and triumph. The more we uncover, the clearer the Jurassic world becomes. Imagine the soundscape, the bellows of sauropods echoing through canyons, the screeches of pterosaurs above, the hiss of wind through giant trees. Thunderstorms rolled across the plains, lightning flashing over herds. This was not a still, dead past. It was vibrant, loud, and alive. For millions of years, these creatures thrived under changing skies. They adapted to drought, flood, and famine. They migrated, evolved, and built dynasties. But time, as always, reshaped everything. What rose in power eventually falls to dust. And as the Jurassic neared its end, shadows of change loomed once more. Earth was shifting, tectonic plates grinding, climates cooling. The lush Morrison wetlands began to vanish. New plant types, early flowering species, started to appear. With them came new herbivores, smaller and faster. Allosaurus's reign would soon meet its sunset, but its legacy would echo through the ages. The fossil record preserves not just bones, but dominance. Every tooth, every track, every scar tells us this was Earth's most fearsome hunter before the age of tyrants, and its story still roars through time. The sun rises over Jurassic North America, golden light on endless green. The ground trembles under the weight of something immense. A herd of Apatosaurus moves through the mist, colossal and serene. Their necks sway like cranes as they graze on ancient conifers. This is a world built for giants, a paradise of scale and strength. The Morrison Formation was their home, a vast floodplain of rivers and swamps. Here sauropods ruled with sheer size, feeding day and night. Apatosaurus, the deceptive lizard, was one of the most iconic of them all. Reaching over 75 feet in length, it was among the largest animals to ever walk. Its bones, thick as steel beams, supported a body of 40 tons. Yet, despite its size, Apatosaurus moved with surprising grace. It likely traveled in herds, protection in numbers from predators like Allosaurus. Imagine their low-frequency calls echoing across the plains like thunder. Scientists believe their long necks allowed them to reach food others couldn't. Feeding high into the trees, they cleared entire forests in days. And when danger approached, the herd closed ranks around their young. Their tails, long, muscular, and whip-like, became deadly weapons. Some paleontologists think the crack of an Apatosaurus tail could break the sound barrier. That single sound might have been enough to send predators fleeing. Yet for every giant herbivore there was a patient hunter waiting. Allosaurus and Torvosaurus prowled the riverbanks, watching for stragglers. Fossil evidence shows bite marks healed on Apatosaurus bones, proof that even titans were not invincible. Still, these giants were vital to the ecosystem's balance. As they grazed, they shaped the landscape, spreading seeds and clearing paths. Their migrations created new habitats and river channels. They were nature's bulldozers, sculpting the Jurassic wilderness. But among them walked a smaller, stranger creature, Stegosaurus. The roofed lizard stood out with its iconic backplates and spiked tail. Roughly 30 feet long and weighing 6 tons, Stegosaurus was a living fortress. Its double row of bony plates ran from neck to tail like armor. Scientists believe these plates helped regulate temperature. Others think they were display tools for intimidation or attracting mates. Each plate was filled with blood vessels, glowing red when flushed with heat. Imagine the sight, a Stegosaurus, plates blazing under the sun, warning predators with color and size. But its real weapon lay at the tail, the deadly Thagomizer. 4 sharp spikes that could impale an attacker in one swing. Fossil evidence shows puncture wounds matching these deadly blows. For a slow-moving herbivore, Stegosaurus was far from defenseless. Its small brain, often mocked, was not a weakness but an adaptation. Its nervous system extended into the hips for faster reflexes. It could respond to threats instantly, a built-in survival mechanism. In the Morrison ecosystem, Stegosaurus thrived in groups near water sources. They fed on low-lying ferns and cycads, often side by side with Camptosaurus. Their coexistence painted a dynamic picture of Jurassic life. Herds grazed under the shade of tall conifers, while predators stalked quietly through the undergrowth. The air was humid, filled with the calls of insects and reptiles. Giant dragonflies zipped through the air like living drones. This was a world of diversity, where size was both strength and burden. The Morrison landscape teemed with more than just dinosaurs. Crocodilian ancestors, turtles, and small mammals scurried underfoot. They hid in burrows, avoiding the crushing steps of the giants above. The balance of life here was delicate yet enduring. Droughts came and went, reshaping the herd's migration routes. Fossilized footprints show entire herds traveling hundreds of miles. They followed the ancient river systems like living caravans. Sometimes they found water, other times only death. These migrations left behind the fossilized record we uncover today. Each track, each bone, tells a story frozen in time. The Morrison Formation became nature's diary of survival. When paleontologists uncover a fossil bed, they don't just find bones. They find evidence of family, struggle, and adaptation. A Stegosaurus skeleton beside a juvenile hints at parental behavior. Apatosaurus nests reveal group care and herd protection. These were not mindless beasts, they were social, sentient survivors. In this ancient world, cooperation meant survival. The dinosaurs' fates were tied to the rhythm of Earth itself. When the rains came, the plains flourished with green. Rivers overflowed, creating shallow lakes teeming with life. But when the droughts returned, only the strongest endured. The Morrison climate cycled between feast and famine. It was evolution's great test. And the dinosaurs passed with brilliance. Their world was filled with danger, yet they thrived for millions of years. Each species carved its place in nature's grand design. Stegosaurus perfected defense, Apatosaurus mastered endurance. Together they represented the balance of the Jurassic ecosystem, but nature never stands still. Beneath their feet, tectonic plates were shifting once again. Mountains began to rise in the west, the early Rockies. Volcanoes erupted, ash drifting for hundreds of miles. The air grew heavy, rivers choked with sediment. Slowly, the Morrison paradise began to fade. The era of giants was nearing its twilight, but their legacy was far from over. Every fossil we find today is a whisper from that vanished world, a story of giants who shaped the earth before humankind ever existed. The ground beneath our feet still carries their memory, and those echoes will guide us deeper into the next chapter of time. Beneath the deserts and cliffs of the American West lies a hidden treasure. Layers of red, green, and gray stone tell stories older than time itself. This is the Morrison Formation, Earth's ancient archive of Jurassic life. Stretching across 13 U.S. states from Montana to New Mexico, it is the richest source of dinosaur fossils in North America. Every layer is a page of deep time, written in mud, ash, and memory. Scientists call it a window into the Jurassic world. But how did this formation come to be? The answer begins 155 million years ago, in a world of volcanoes and rivers. North America then was split by inland seas and drifting continents. Massive volcanoes to the west spewed ash into the skies. Rivers carried this ash eastward, settling it in valleys and floodplains. Over centuries, the sediments buried plants, bones, and entire ecosystems. Pressure and minerals transformed them into stone, into history itself. That's why today, paleontologists find fossils locked in Morrison mudstone. Each fossil is a snapshot, a single moment of Jurassic life preserved forever. The formation spans millions of years, capturing evolution in real time. Within its layers lie the remains of over 70 dinosaur species. Among them, Allosaurus, Apatosaurus, Stegosaurus, and Diplodocus. These names are more than fossils. They are characters in Earth's story. Each bone reveals behavior, anatomy, and adaptation. The Morrison gives us clues about climate, vegetation, and extinction. Ancient soils called paleosols show signs of wet and dry cycles. The colors of the rocks, reds and greens, mark flood and drought seasons. Red beds mean oxidation, times of dryness and decay. Greenish-gray layers mark wetter, swampy conditions. Together they map the rhythm of prehistoric climate change. It was a land of contrast, rivers and deserts, forests and volcanoes. Yet despite harsh changes, life thrived. Fossilized plants show lush cycads, ferns and conifers once dominated. Giant trees like Araucaria reached high above the plains. These forests fed the herds of sauropods that roamed beneath. In turn, their remains nourished the scavengers and decomposers. The Morrison ecosystem was a masterpiece of balance, and its preservation, a masterpiece of geology. Over millions of years, sediment buried layer upon layer of life. Then time, tectonics, and erosion revealed them again. The Rocky Mountains' uplift exposed the ancient Morrison beds. What was once buried deep now lies open under American skies. The story of the Jurassic is written across canyon walls. Dinosaur National Monument in Colorado and Utah is one such portal. There, over 1,500 dinosaur bones lie embedded in stone. Visitors can touch the same rock that entombed Allosaurus for eons. It's like shaking hands with deep time. But uncovering these fossils is not easy work. Paleontologists endure heat, dust, and danger to retrieve each fragment. They map, photograph, and plaster every discovery with care. Back in laboratories, the bones are cleaned and analyzed for months or years. Every scrape of the brush reveals new secrets of the Jurassic world. Some fossils even preserve skin impressions and tendons, rare traces that show texture, not just skeletons. These details help scientists reconstruct color, muscle, and movement. Through 3D scanning and computer modeling, Allosaurus once again walks. Stegosaurus once again swings its tail. The Morrison has turned paleontology into time travel. But beyond science, it fuels imagination, for children and scientists alike. It's where the dream of dinosaurs began for generations. From museums in Denver to quarries in Wyoming, the Morrison connects us. It bridges human curiosity with ancient life. Yet there is still much we don't know. Every year, new discoveries rewrite what we thought we understood. A new species, a new footprint, a new mystery revealed by erosion. Some fossils are found by ranchers, others by sheer luck after storms. In 1990, a flood in Utah exposed dozens of new dinosaur skeletons overnight. The Earth itself seems eager to tell its story. But time is relentless. Erosion destroys as much as it reveals. That's why preservation efforts are vital. Scientists race against time, protecting fossils from weather and theft. The Morrison Formation is more than stone. It's our shared heritage. It reminds us how fragile and powerful nature can be. Through its rocks, we see how continents shifted and climates changed. We glimpse how species evolved, adapted, and disappeared. It is a story not just of dinosaurs, but of Earth's endless transformation. Beneath every layer lies another chapter waiting to be uncovered. And with every fossil, we peel back the mystery of deep time. The Morrison also preserves small life, turtles, lizards, insects. They show us that even in a world of giants, the smallest endured. Their survival threads connect to the mammals that would follow, including, one day, us. The dust of the Morrison carried the seeds of everything that came later. It's not just a story of extinction, but of continuity. From dinosaurs to birds, from ancient ferns to modern forests. The Morrison Formation bridges the Jurassic world to our own. Its rocks are the DNA of deep time, written not in letters but in fossils and minerals. Each one whispers, "We lived, we thrived, we became the Earth itself." And today, paleontologists translate those whispers into discovery. The Morrison is still alive, in every dig, every museum, every mind it inspires. It's the living heartbeat of America's prehistoric past. But as one era fades, another rises. The dawn of the Cretaceous waits ahead. In the lush Jurassic plains of North America, two giants faced off beneath the blazing sun. The predator, Allosaurus, the ruling hunter of its age. The prey, Stegosaurus, armored, spiked, and ready for war. Their battleground, the Morrison Formation 150 million years ago. This was no mere chase, it was a struggle for dominance written in fossilized scars. Paleontologists call it the dinosaur duel of the Jurassic. Each skeleton tells part of the story: teeth marks, broken plates, healed wounds. Let's step into this prehistoric arena. Allosaurus, standing up to 28 feet long, was a master of agility. With powerful hind legs, it could sprint short bursts to ambush its prey. Its skull, over 3 feet long, carried more than 60 sharp, serrated teeth. Scientists call them steak knives of the Jurassic. Unlike T-Rex, Allosaurus had a lighter build, favoring speed and precision. Its eyes faced slightly forward, giving it a predator's depth perception. But Stegosaurus wasn't defenseless. With its array of 17 bone plates and 4 deadly tail spikes, the Thagomizer, it was a fortress. Each spike could reach up to 3 feet long. A single swing could pierce deep into flesh and bone. Evidence suggests it used that tail like a medieval mace. Fossilized Allosaurus bones show puncture wounds matching Stegosaurus spikes, proof of real-life Jurassic combat. Imagine the scene: a pack of allosaurs stalking through ferns and cycads. They move like shadows across the ancient floodplain. The scent of opportunity fills the humid air. A lone Stegosaurus browses nearby, tearing low ferns with its beak-like mouth. The predators close in. They communicate through low growls and body signals, cooperation, not chaos. One Allosaurus charges forward. Stegosaurus hears the rustle and swings its tail with thunderous speed. The spike slashes across the hunter's thigh. Blood spills. The predator retreats, hissing, circling again. A standoff begins. Dust swirls, the ground trembles beneath their steps. It's not just survival, it's evolution in action. Every move, every injury, every death shapes future generations. The Stegosaurus's defense ensures only the strongest allosaurs survive. The allosaurs' attacks drive the stegosaurs to evolve sharper senses and quicker reflexes. Nature refines itself through struggle. And here in the Morrison, struggle was constant. The climate was seasonal, wet and dry cycles shaping every hunt. When drought hit, competition turned brutal. Carcasses dried fast, waterholes became traps. Even allosaurs fought each other for dominance. Bite marks on skulls reveal intraspecies combat, each scar a badge of survival. Fossils show that some individuals lived long enough for wounds to heal, meaning the Morrison's apex predator could take a beating and live on. This wasn't a monster, it was a marvel of evolution. And so was its prey. Stegosaurus's plates, once thought armor, may have helped regulate body temperature, or perhaps they served as colorful displays, Jurassic billboards of strength. Picture sunlight glinting off red, yellow, or orange hues, visual signals to warn predators, I'm not worth the risk. The Morrison's plant life thrived beneath a sky rich in carbon dioxide. Ferns, cycads, conifers, all perfect fuel for herbivores like Stegosaurus, but predators followed the herds. Where food went, so did danger. It's the eternal rhythm of the wild, hunter and hunted locked in time. Today their bones lie silent beneath Utah and Colorado's sandstone cliffs, yet each fossil whispers their story to those who listen. Paleontologists carefully brush away millions of years of history. Every tooth, every plate, every mark adds to the puzzle. The result, a vivid picture of Jurassic life. This ancient rivalry wasn't about cruelty, it was about balance. Without predators, prey would overrun the land. Without prey, predators would vanish. The Morrison ecosystem thrived because of this harmony of conflict, a world of giants perfectly adapted to each other. Allosaurus wasn't a villain, it was nature's precision. Stegosaurus wasn't a victim, it was a masterpiece of defense. Together they shaped the land and the lineage of all who followed. When the final dry season struck, the plains turned barren. Floods buried carcasses beneath layers of mud. Over millions of years, minerals replaced bone. Stone memories were born. The fossils we study today, each one a frozen moment from a vanished world. Standing before them, we see echoes of a vanished age, the clash of titans that once thundered across Jurassic America. Scientists estimate over 70 species lived alongside them, from tiny scavengers to long-necked giants like Diplodocus. The Morrison was North America's lost kingdom, a land of abundance and peril. And at its heart, the eternal duel of fang and spike. Allosaurus and Stegosaurus, predator and prey, teacher and student. Their struggle defined the rhythm of life 150 million years ago. Even in silence, their story endures. Every fossil is a message across time, a reminder that balance, not dominance, sustains life. The Morrison may be long gone, but its legacy roars beneath our feet. And so ends the chapter of the Jurassic duel, a saga carved in stone. As the Jurassic period neared its twilight, Earth's continents began to drift apart, tearing the supercontinent Pangaea into fragments of destiny. North America slowly pulled away from Africa and Europe, birthing vast rift valleys, volcanic chains, and shallow inland seas teeming with new life. The climate, once humid and lush, shifted toward arid seasons, turning green plains into dust-choked savannas under the blazing Jurassic sun. The Morrison ecosystem trembled as rivers dried, vegetation thinned, and giant sauropods struggled to find enough food to sustain their bulk. Allosaurus, once the supreme predator, faced declining prey numbers as the droughts and floods reshaped its hunting grounds and food web. Nature's balance tilted. Ecosystems that had thrived for millions of years teetered on the edge of transformation and eventual collapse. Fossil evidence reveals a thinning diversity in the Morrison Formation near the end. Fewer species, smaller populations, shifting habitats. The mighty herds of Apatosaurus and Diplodocus began to dwindle as once flourishing fern prairies turned to hardened, cracked earth. Even the armored Stegosaurus, master of survival, vanished from the fossil record before the dawn of the Cretaceous world. Scientists debate what caused this decline. Was it slow climate change, volcanic upheaval, or the beginnings of continental isolation? Evidence from sediment layers points to major tectonic shifts, rising mountain chains that rerouted rivers and rainfall across the land. These gradual changes strangled the lush wetlands that once fed the Morrison herds, leaving behind skeletal forests and fossilized floodplains. Yet life always adapts. Smaller, quicker species emerged, filling ecological gaps left by the departure of giants from the Jurassic realm. Crocodiles, turtles, and early mammals flourished in hidden niches, surviving in burrows and rivers, while dinosaurs fought extinction's shadow. The great predators of the past, like Allosaurus, gave rise to new hunters, precursors of the Cretaceous tyrants that would follow. Fossils from late Morrison strata show a decline in large theropods, replaced by lighter, more agile descendants, better suited to scarcity. Evolution, as always, rewarded the flexible and punished the massive. Size, once power, now became a heavy burden in changing times. North America's landscape transformed into a mosaic of deserts, floodplains, and volcanic ridges echoing with the fading footsteps of giants. The once unified Jurassic world gave way to regional ecosystems, each ruled by new survivors adapted to local climates and prey. Even as the old lineages faded, new evolutionary sparks ignited. Ceratosaurs, coelurosaurs, and primitive birds took to the skies. From those first feathered hunters would one day descend the winged heirs of the dinosaurs, the birds that still soar above us today. In this grand transition, every extinction was a doorway, every loss a spark that fueled the rise of something entirely new. The bones of Allosaurus, buried in sandstone, mark not only an end, but also the beginning of another chapter in life's eternal cycle. The Morrison Formation, once teeming with life, became a graveyard of change, a silent witness to the turning of Earth's biological clock. Over millions of years, sediments sealed these bones, preserving echoes of a vanished age beneath the American heartland. When paleontologists unearthed them, they discovered not just fossils, but a chronicle of struggle, survival, and transformation. Each fossilized rib, claw, and tooth whispered the same truth. Nothing in nature lasts forever, but everything leaves its trace. The Jurassic ended not with a sudden catastrophe, but with a slow unraveling, a whisper of change carried on the wind of time. It was evolution's quiet revolution, gradual, relentless, shaping the future without mercy or pause. As continents drifted farther apart, new oceans opened, altering global climates and isolating species across vast watery divides. Volcanic eruptions spewed ash and carbon dioxide, warming the planet while acid rains reshaped plant communities and food chains. The world of giants gave way to the age of specialization. Smaller dinosaurs evolved to exploit every remaining niche. This transition set the stage for the spectacular Cretaceous period, the rise of T-Rex, Triceratops, and the flowering plant explosion. But the Morrison's legacy never faded. Its fossils tell us how life endures, even as empires of nature crumble to dust. From the bones of giants to the wings of sparrows, the story of evolution is written in the rocks beneath North America's deserts. Every ridge and canyon in Utah or Colorado holds pieces of that narrative, echoes of a time when the Earth itself was young. The red stones of the Morrison aren't just relics. They are pages of an ancient book still being read by those who seek its secrets. Each excavation uncovers another verse of that story, a verse of power, loss, and eternal renewal beneath the blazing Jurassic sun. In the great fossil beds, we can almost hear the distant rumble of herds and the haunting call of Allosaurus once more. The air of that age still clings to the rocks, hot, humid, and heavy, with the breath of creatures long turned to stone. Scientists now trace the chemical fingerprints of those ancient atmospheres, preserved in the rock's very minerals. Through isotopes and carbon traces, we can reconstruct how Jurassic skies shifted and climates changed with continental drift. Each discovery adds clarity, painting a vivid picture of how ecosystems rise, fall, and evolve across the canvas of deep time. And in those stories, humanity finds its place, for we too are children of the same evolutionary rhythm. The fall of the Jurassic was not the end of life's grandeur, but the birth of new complexity and ecological innovation. Every extinction clears the path for rebirth. Every ending prepares the world for its next evolutionary symphony. The Allosaurs may have fallen silent, but their descendants and legacies live on through every creature that breathes today. From the thunder lizards came songbirds. From reptilian giants came fragile wings that carried life to the skies. North America's Jurassic was not a lost world. It was the seedbed of the modern planet we now inhabit. Rivers that once cradled dinosaurs now flow through canyons carved by time, whispering to those who listen closely. Every gust across the Utah Badlands carries dust once walked upon by Stegosaurus and Allosaurus side by side. Every fossil bed is a time capsule, an ancient echo of what once was and what life will always become again. The Morrison Formation stands as a monument to deep time, a cathedral of stone where Earth's story is etched in silence. Its sands have seen empires of evolution rise and fall, yet its memory remains untouched by the passing of ages. The end of the Jurassic reminds us that even the mightiest reigns are temporary beneath nature's eternal law of change. Life endures by transforming, not resisting, by adapting, not clinging to what once was beneath the changing sun. The world that replaced the Jurassic was vibrant and strange, a preview of the age of flowers, flight, and fierce new predators. But within that transformation, the echoes of Allosaurus and Stegosaurus still resonated in the DNA of what came next. Evolution never forgets. It builds upon its memories, layer upon layer, like sediment pressing down on ancient bones. Each generation carries the lessons of the past, encoded in the blueprint of its cells and the instincts of survival. The Morrison's end was not a tragedy, but a turning page in Earth's 4.5 billion-year chronicle of adaptation and endurance. Today, paleontologists use that record to trace how ecosystems respond to global warming, drought, and shifting continents. The past becomes a guidebook, a warning, and an inspiration all at once, history written in stone for those who can read it. North America's Jurassic story is a mirror reflecting our own. Civilizations rise, climates shift, and balance decides survival. The more we study the Morrison, the clearer we see that extinction and creation are twin forces shaping every era. The dinosaurs' fall teaches us humility. Their fossils remind us that nature always reclaims its balance in time. In every ridge of Utah and every canyon in Wyoming lies a fossilized heartbeat of Earth's evolutionary courage. The echo of thunder lizards still trembles through the stone, proof that nothing truly disappears, it only transforms. The Jurassic's closing chapter may have ended in silence, but its story still roars across millions of years of memory. The Morrison remains alive in science, in imagination, and in the wind that sweeps across the western desert plains. The end was not darkness, it was transformation, the beginning of the next great act of life upon our ever-changing Earth. Every fossil bed in North America stands as testimony that endings are simply nature's way of beginning anew. The extinction of the Jurassic giants opened the path for new life, just as the night gives birth to the coming dawn. As we gaze upon their bones, we see not death but persistence, not loss but the artistry of nature's endless renewal. The Allosaurus, the Stegosaurus, the mighty sauropods, they are the ancestors of imagination, the keepers of Earth's memory. Through them, we understand that survival is not about power, but about harmony with the forces that shape our world. Each fossil we unearth whispers a single truth: adapt, evolve, or fade into the silence of deep time's embrace. The Morrison Formation may have fallen to dust, but its spirit still shapes the way we view evolution and existence. The fossils beneath North America are not relics of the past, they are lessons written for the future of our species. In their silent endurance, dinosaurs remind us of nature's resilience and our responsibility to preserve its story. For as long as the Earth spins, the echoes of the Jurassic will live on in every grain of sand and every living heart. Time is the sculptor, and evolution its chisel, carving the masterpiece we call life from the stones of the forgotten past. The Jurassic may have ended 145 million years ago, but its heartbeat still resonates beneath our modern continents. From the red hills of Colorado to the bone beds of Wyoming, the spirit of that age whispers in every fossilized fragment. And so the story continues, written not by giants anymore, but by those who seek to remember and tell their tale. The Morrison-AS legacy endures, a bridge between what was and what still dreams of walking this ancient Earth again. Every echo of thunder we feel in the wind is a memory of the age when dinosaurs ruled the Western world. The end of the Jurassic was not the death of dinosaurs, but the seed from which the next age of life would bloom. In that ending lies a promise that no extinction is final, only a transformation waiting to awaken anew. And so we leave the Jurassic behind, yet its echoes live forever. In stone, in science, and in the beating heart of the Earth itself.